What's up, boxing fans? This is Boxing Guru, and I'm back with another great video. S.O.G, the Crusher Kovalev, is set to face Andre, S.O.G, S.O.G, Son of God, Ward, this weekend. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I believe Andre Ward will pull off the decision. He'll win either by split decision or by majority decision. This will be a competitive fight. I believe both fighters are very skillful and technical, but I believe Andre Ward is more skillful than Sergey Kovalev, although Sergey Kovalev does have devastating power. But here are the reasons. Speed. Andre Ward has very, very blinding speed. He sets it off at moments that you don't expect. He's very crafty with his speed. He's very unpredictable with his speed. And he's very smart with his speed. He's not just that Amir Khan type of speed. No, he's that type of speed where he'll move a little bit and he'll catch you off guard. Here it is. You see it? Boom. He's just so smart with his speed. He uses it good. Sticks his hand out there. Sticks a jab out there. The next one is changing levels. Changing levels is a very, very useful tool to use against a elite fighter. A lot of elite fighters use this. A lot of pro boxers use this. Master boxers, may I say. That's something that they do when you're standing in front of them. You lower your level and then you come back up. You lower it. Just to throw them off, to keep them thinking, what's going to happen. Make him think he's going to go to the body, but he's coming up. You see? He's constantly going down. See? He's changing his levels. Watch for it. Boom, right there. See what I'm talking about? Andre Ward is going to be using that tool on Sergey Kovalev during the whole fight, and I don't think Sergey Kovalev will be able to offset that or stop that, because I think it's a very useful tool, and I think Andre Ward executes that quite impressively and quite effectively. And the next one is changing angles. This is a very important tool to use when you have the fighter on his way out of there, And Andre Ward doesn't have a lot of stoppages, but he will be using this tool against Sergey Kovalev when he does wear you out, in the later rounds when he gets a little bit tired, frustrated. Andre Ward is going to use this tool, and it's going to be very effective. Trust, and see. Here it is. See? Changing his angles. See what I'm talking about? That's a very effective tool to get a fighter out of there. And the next one is neutralizing attack. Andre Ward does this really effectively. It's actually, some people say it's illegal. It could be borderline illegal, but I mean, when you're at that level, when you're at that elite level, no excuses, man. A lot of fighters do this. Mayweather does this. It's just something they do. You got to be ready for that too. Here it is, jab to the body, and he knows the right hand is coming, so he neutralizes it. You see that? And he comes back with a jab. See that's a stiff arm right there. That's holding. That's illegal, kind of illegal too, or borderline, almost legal or whatever. But Andre Ward does whatever it needs to be done to win. He does whatever it takes, and that's what you need to do against Sergey Kovalev. Look at him, just constantly moving, jabbing. The guy's a very smart fighter, man. He's very technical with it, changing his levels at all times, sticking his hand out there. Awkward speed. This is sort of like Roy Jones Jr. He does this a lot too. Watch. Boom, boom. Roy Jones Jr. was so hard to beat because of this type of attack. That jumping type of attack like that. It's hard to beat that type of attack, man. It gets you off guard, and it's so fast that even if you back up, you're gonna get hit with something. Andre Ward does this a lot. See? Constantly, man, doing little sneak attacks. He's very crafty in there. He's good on the inside too. His inside game is very underrated. Andre Ward has a great inside game, and he does it in a position where he neutralizes your offense, but enables his offense. You know what I'm saying? By holding you or using his shoulder as leverage, or his arm, stiff arming him. Right there, he's holding him. You see that? Arm, constantly, boom. You got to keep a jab out there against a Kovalev, man. You got to keep that jab out there. That's key. That's another thing I didn't put on the video, but that's the key thing, keeping your jab out there against Sergey Kovalev. Andre Ward does that quite effectively, like all the time. He always has his jab out there, as you see right here against Arthur Abraham. He's slick with it. Oh, he got caught right there. Arthur Abraham, he's a hard puncher, so I don't think Sergey Kovalev will be able to knock out Andre Ward with just one punch. I think it'll have to be an accumulation of punches. Because, if you think about it, he wasn't able to knock out a Bernard Hopkins, a 50-year-old, So it's, they're kind of similar. Andre Ward and Bernard Hopkins have the similar style, except Andre Ward is much more aggressive and much more young and much more strong and much more fast. So this is really like a Bernard Hopkins on steroids, a super Bernard Hopkins. So this is really gonna be a hard night for Sergey Kovalev, and I don't see him winning any other way but a knockout. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. At the end of the day, anything can happen. My next reason is better resume, and I can't stress this enough. I cannot go against a guy with a better resume. Andre Ward has been in there with better fighters than Sergey Kovalev, more dangerous fighters. Carl Froch, he's a power puncher, man. He's a power puncher, He's a strong fighter, credible fighter. And Andre Ward, he neutralized him. He completely shut him down. It wasn't a thing that Carl Froch was able to do to defeat Andre Ward. He was so overmatched to the point where his power wasn't even a big factor in the fight. At times, Carl Froch was just frustrated in there, didn't know what to do. And the fight is going to be very similar to this fight, but it's going to be more closer. And Carl Froch is not as good as a fighter as Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev is better technically. He's much more patient. He's much more calm. He thinks in there. Carl Froch gets frustrated and starts throwing power punches, trying to brawl. And I feel like Andre Ward is going to do a similar thing. I feel like he's going to be better prepared for this fight because he knows this is the fight of his life. And I feel like he's going to just outpoint him, at times outclass him. If Sergey Kovalev has never been in there with a fighter like Andre Ward and he does not know how to react, I could even see a unanimous decision. It's very possible. We saw what Mayweather did to Canelo. This is a similar situation. Everybody thought Canelo was just going to, run through Mayweather. He was too big. He was too strong. But Mayweather neutralized that shit. Shut that shit the fuck down, And Canelo was in awe of Mayweather. He did not know what to do. So he just hurdled up and sat there like a little bitch. And everybody knows I'm a Canelo fan. Everybody knows that's my guy. And for me to tell you this shit, this just proves I'm unbiased. I keep it real, 100% raw. You feel me? Just like you fucking a bitch, 100% raw. You fucking your bitch, it has to be 100% raw. You feel me? Just like that. No homo though. Hope you took it that way. But Andre Ward is just another type of animal, man. He's second to Mayweather. He's a mastermind boxer. His boxing IQ is just unbelievable, man. This guy can adapt to any situation. He's a winner. He's a winner, man. This guy hasn't lost since he was 12, and I feel like that mentality is already in him. You feel me? That mentality is in him, man. You can't beat a guy who thinks that way. Sergey Kovalev was having second thoughts, talking about, I'll try to beat him. He didn't sound very confident. And Andre Ward is very confident. He knows he can beat everybody, and he knows he's gonna beat everybody. So that nothing phases this guy. He's strong-minded. He's been through a lot of shit. And I'm gonna look at this fight with Sergey Kovalev, though. For example, with Bernard Hopkins, similar style. But Bernard Hopkins is old. He knew he had no chance against a young lion that was also a good boxer. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Some things Bernard Hopkins did in there that kind of bothered Sergey Kovalev that I think Andre Ward will do more effectively when they fight. The holding wasn't that good for Bernard Hopkins. He didn't hold him right. He didn't clinch up right. But he did have some good defensive maneuvers in there that frustrated, or not even frustrated, that just made him miss and made him look bad at times. Right here. Look, this is what I mean. I think Andre Ward will do this much better and counterpunch with the right hand. Boom. He would have counterpunched Sergey Kovalev right there. Counterpunch with another right hand. Sergey Kovalev, Bernard Hopkins is a 2-3 punch fighter. Andre Ward isn't. He throws combinations with his counterpunches. See right there? Andre Ward would have counterpunched him again. But no knock to Bernard Hopkins. We know he's over the hill. He's only able to win these fights because of his experience and his work ethic. He has tremendous work ethic. To be in there at that level, at that age, is impressive. And that shows a lot about his character and his will to be a champion. At his age, that's just hands down. He deserves a lot of respect for this. But this is what I mean. See, all that making them dodge, all that making them miss and shit. Andre Ward would capitalize on that instantly. Like no thoughts about it. Instantly. And Sergey Kovalev landed clean on Bernard Hopkins, and he wasn't able to knock him out. Bernard Hopkins, man, he's 50. You can't knock him out. This fight is going to be a dangerous fight for both fighters. Well, not for Sergey Kovalev. It's going to be a dangerous fight for Andre Ward. But it's going to be a tough fight for Sergey Kovalev. And I think Andre Ward, just based on his boxing abilities and his youth that Bernard Hopkins did not have, I think he will defeat Sergey Kovalev. Take this how you want it. Like I said, Andre Ward is the most skillful fighter. He adapts to any situation. He has better defensive moves than Bernard Hopkins, and he's much more aggressive. He throws more faster, counterpunching, and with more volume as well. And I think that will frustrate Sergey Kovalev and have him thinking twice about rushing him. This fight won't be like this. Sergey Kovalev coming forward trying to knock him out. He'll be thinking twice about doing that, because when you're in there with a slick fighter who's constantly counterpunching you, it might not be the hardest punches in the world, but it does frustrate a person, and it does have him thinking twice about rushing. With that being said, I conclude this with my final prediction as Andre Ward winning by decision. Split decision, majority decision, unanimous decision. This is Boxing Guru. Please do take the time to subscribe.